Well, Chinese President Xi Jinping is now on a three-country trip to Europe for the first time in 5 years. His first stop, our ally, France. He's in Paris right now. He already met with French President Emmanuel Macron, and he's meeting with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Macron saying ahead of the meeting, quote, "It is in our interest to get China to weigh in on the stability of the international order. We must therefore work with China to build peace." And then Xi saying that China and France are, quote, "a model for the international community of peaceful coexistence and win-win cooperation between countries with different social systems." Xi's trip also includes stops in Serbia. He's going to Hungary. I want to bring in Gatestone Institute senior fellow and author of The Coming Collapse of China and China is Going to War, Gordon Chang. Gordon, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
What do you think that Xi Jinping's real goal is here in Europe?
First of all, to divide the Atlantic Alliance. I think he also wants to repair relations with a proud but angry continent. And of course, he wants to buck up his despicable allies in Eastern Europe. So those are going to be the three things he's going to want to do. And when he's in Serbia, he's going to highlight the accidental bombing of the embassy in Belgrade by the United States. And that's going to be a very big portion of his trip.
Sow division and turn our allies against us. Thank you very much. So they appear to be ramping up aggressions towards Taiwan. And the inauguration of President-elect William Tai is May 20th. And just in the last 3 days, Gordon, Taiwan's defense ministry says 19 Chinese jets, 16 Chinese ships were detected near the island. So is this a further escalation of what we've been fearing all along? Or is this just posturing by the Chinese?
This is more of the same. It can be an inauguration, can be an election, can be a flower festival in Taipei. The Chinese are going to ramp up pressure. But the Chinese military right now is in disarray, and it is in no shape to invade Taiwan. And also, I think Xi Jinping understands that an invasion of Taiwan, for a number of reasons, would be extremely unpopular with the Chinese people. But having said all that, Xi Jinping has made the decision to risk war with the United States. And we can see this in a number of ways, but especially in his especially belligerent moves in the South China Sea against the Philippines, where he's ignoring warning after warning from President Biden and the State Department. So we are one incident away from history's most destructive war.
And Liz Peek was saying that just a few moments ago about China. Liz, jump in here.
Yeah, it seems to me, Gordon, you must feel like the Lone Ranger. No one else is talking about the threat from China, it seems to me, as importantly as you are. But I want to go back to Xi Jinping in Europe, because it seems to me also he is there on a very critical mission to allow China to continue to flood Europe with cheap goods. We are trying to resist that. Europe is certainly trying to. I mean, how important is that market to China and to their rebounding economy? Because their economy is not in good shape.
No, their economy is not growing at the 5.3% pace that they claim for Q1. It's growing maybe 0.5%, maybe 1% at most. The problem is they've got to rescue their economy with exports. The United States has made it pretty clear that we're increasing tariffs, so that makes Europe more important, also makes the global South more important. But we've got to also recall that in European ports, they are storing tens of thousands of Chinese EVs on their lots. And that means that, the Europeans are worried that the Chinese will decimate the European car industry. We should be worried about the same thing. Yep. Elon Musk said the Chinese will take over the global car industry unless we start to erect barriers to it. And we absolutely have to do that because China's car policies are predatory.
Yeah, Gordon, I'm so glad that you brought that up about especially the electric vehicle market in Europe. And Chris, I want to get your thoughts on that because this is the point. He knows that he's got a hand to play when it comes to the EV market in Europe, and I think that's a big piece of why he's there.
I think you're right in this. All their manufacturing in Mexico, there's real issues. Gordon, I worry so much about it. I think, Blinken and Yellen were over there the other day, a few weeks back, and I think they did more harm than good. It seems like they were toothless. They had no victory, and it seems like now he's going on to Europe with kind of emboldened more than ever before. How long will it take to reverse this if we see a change in November, Gordon?
I think that a change in November could reverse this very quickly. President Trump has said to Maria, for instance, that he is going to impose tariffs on China at least 60%, could be higher. And that the Chinese are very worried about, because President Trump is pretty good at doing what he says he'll do. And clearly the United States needs to look at the Chinese trade policies, because they're not only predatory, but they're also criminal. China is stealing $500 billion worth of U.S. intellectual property every year, according to the Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, just before in December 2020. And his successor talks about the same thing. So obviously we cannot allow this to continue, but we have allowed it to continue, and we can't anymore.
Gordon Chang, it's always great to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.